Welcome back friends to become cyber security expert. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, that is risk. What is a risk? My name is Pranav Sabne and this is one of my favorite topics, risk management. So let's discuss what is a risk. So we generally use the term risk in negative manner, but there are positive risks also. Positive risks are called as opportunities. If you invest money in shares, you may get 10 times return. So it is a positive risk. But generally the term risk is used in negative terms. So in this video also we are going to use it in negative manner. So what is a risk? So risk can be defined as uncertainty of outcome. When you are not sure about the output and outcome of whatever you are doing, then it is called as risk. I am working on some project, but what if the project fails? It is a risk. I am creating this video, but what if users do not like it? Is a risk. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is part of life, and that uncertainty of outcome is called as risk. Risk is always in the future. What if my application goes down? Is a risk. It is in future. Risk is always in the future. Risk is never at present. Risk is never in the past. Risk is always in the future. If my application goes down, I will no more call it as risk. I will call it as incident. So materialized risk is called an incident. When my application goes down, I will raise an incident in my ticketing tool. So materialized risk is called as incident. Then how to calculate risk? So risk can be calculated using formula impact into probability. So if something goes wrong, what will be the impact? And what is the probability that it will go wrong? What is the probability that my business critical application will go down? It may be 0.1, it may be 0.1, it may be 0.001, it may be 0.99 also. Probability is always between 0 and 1. It is never less than 0 and it is never more than 1. So what is the probability that it will happen? And if it happens, if my business critical application goes down, then what will be the impact? So impact into probability will give you risk. On the last line, I have mentioned one more formula to calculate risk. That is asset into threat into vulnerability. So what is this? Two formulae to calculate same thing? That is not possible. If I want to find out area of a circle, I have only one formula, pi into r square. So pi into radius. That is the only formula. But here I have mentioned two formulae. Which one is correct? So let's see which one is correct. So I have a business critical application. It is my asset. So if my application goes down, then it is going to create impact on my business. So if my asset is not available, it is going to create an impact on my business. So asset is directly related to impact. Now the other part of the formula is threat into vulnerability. Whatever is the threat and whatever is the vulnerability, if vulnerability exists, threat also exists, and if the threat is capable of exploiting the vulnerability to create any negative impact on the asset, only then the risk will get materialized. So hacker is a threat. So if hacker can exploit vulnerability which is associated with my application, only then the hacker can hack my application. So there will be impact to an asset. If threat does not exist, if there is no hacker, if the entire world is full of saints, then there will not be any threat. So threat value will become 0, and anything into 0 will become 0. So threat is 0. So 0 into vulnerability. So the attack will not take place. So probability will become 0. So if threat does not exist, threat into vulnerability will become 0. It means there will not be any probability. Similarly, threat is there, hacker is there, but there is no vulnerability in my system. My application is foolproof. Then it means there is no vulnerability. So vulnerability value will be 0 in this case. So threat into vulnerability will become 0, and it means there is no probability. So you can see that threat into vulnerability, it is directly related to your probability, and asset is related to your impact. So importance of the asset, classification of the asset from business point of view, from organization point of view, will tell you potential impact on your organization, and combined value of threat and vulnerability will tell you what will be the probability that something will go wrong. So even though these two formulae look different, these are not different. Ultimately it is giving you to go to the same value. So this is how you calculate a risk. Many people get confused with the terms risk, threat, vulnerability, impact. Many people think that it is the same. No, these are completely different terminology. Each has completely different meaning. And hope now you have understood the difference between these terminologies. So if you want to learn more about risk, categories of risk, basic concepts of risk, that is what is original risk, what is residual risk, what is secondary risk, what is current risk, then please watch my other videos on risk. Hope you have liked this video. If you find it useful, then please like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe your own channel, Cyber Security Expert. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye.